It had been a long couple of weeks of ministry. There had been some amazing highs and some lows, and coming off of Easter, I was feeling more and more discouraged and unmotivated to live the mission of Jesus. I was looking forward to a vacation with my family in Tahoe, and I desperately wanted to get through the month of May to get there. And so it wasn't a surprise when I saw the Love Placentia event flyer on my desk that I had little desire and joy to be involved. And so I let it sit on my desk, not for a couple of days, but for a couple of weeks, and then it moved from my desk to the floor, and then quickly from the floor to behind the trash can, definitely wanting to dismiss it for a while. I don't know much about the city of Placentia. What I do know is that it's a city that you have to go through to get other places. To travel from Yorba Linda to Brea, you have to go through Placentia. To travel from Yorba Linda to Fullerton and Yorba Linda to Anaheim, you have to go through Placentia. It's a city that you have to go through that doesn't have a lot of attraction to stop at. I know people from our church live there. I know there are good things happening in the city, but I don't know a whole lot. And so when I saw the Love Placentia event, which is a event where the community comes together to do good things within the city, both people who are religious and irreligious, people who are politically driven and spiritually driven and socially driven, all come together from different neighborhoods to do good things. And I didn't know a whole lot about the city, and I thought that it would be good for me to know more about it. So I went over to hang out with my friend Alan. Alan is an old dog in ministry. He's done a lot. He has done a lot of ministry. Alan is a friend. Alan is joyful, and he always has a contagious smile and a story to tell. My favorite thing about Alan, though, isn't so much of his wisdom, although that's important, but is his mutual love for the city of Santa Barbara, where I grew up. Alan is a graduate of UC Santa Barbara and is a surfer, and so there is a common love for the Central Coast between both of us. So I headed over to his house to hang out with him to learn more about the city of Placentia, and I was thankful for the time with him. Here's what I learned.
I'm Alan Amavisca, and in an earlier life I was a missionary in Central America with my wife, and later on I was mission pastor at Friends Church. And the last 3 years, Barbara and I have been developing a ministry called North County Project that's focused here on North Orange County and the 1 million people in North County that do not know Jesus yet. We've broken down our focus in 3 parts. One is prayer, because we know that no movement of God has ever started without dedicated, focused prayer on the part of God's people. The other part is equipping believers in the church to do disciple making that produces disciples who make disciples. And then the third thing is the lab, which is focused on identifying emerging young leaders that we can equip to stay in ministry for the long haul, because about 70% of people that start in ministry don't finish, so we want to equip people to finish. One of our concerns has been that Placentia is probably the most under-churched city in terms of pure churches in the community. It's probably the most under-churched city in North Orange County. And so we wanted to focus on making disciples, and not so much starting a new church as much as getting people into other churches and praying that God would start another church here in the city that would have a citywide vision. Because as one young man, I've been trying to identify up and coming leaders here in the city that know Jesus, and one young guy, Josh, that I work with, has put it this way: Placentia is really 2 cities. It's Bastoncherry and Orangethorpe. And Bastoncherry and Orangethorpe run parallel, but they never touch. And they have completely different communities, completely different experiences in the city. And he and I are pursuing the vision of bringing those 2 streets together. And would love to see this city that has so much in the way of resources and just very rich community, see it come together under the banner of Jesus. And we believe that's the role of the church. We're going out into the street and finding people that aren't coming to our church yet, and yet have needs, know they have needs. And when we broach the subject of Jesus, some of those people are open to exploring faith. Great things happening in the gang community and doors that are opening there. It's really been exciting. I'll just leave it at that. And then a growing relationship with the city. One of the strategic pieces in that has been the Love Placentia project. We're seeing that the city is now taking Love Placentia very seriously, and they are looking to us for help in addressing some of the needs of the city. So that's really exciting, and we hope to continue to serve the city in that way, and to see the church become a partner to the city in bringing good news that impacts both socially and, of course, above all, spiritually and relationally, the life of our city. The most important thing I could share is making disciples is not a job, it's a joy. Once you've done it, you just hunger for more. It's not something that you feel obliged to do, it's a privilege. And so I would just encourage you not to think that God is tapping his foot waiting for you to get in, but picture God with hands open saying, come into this incredible blessing that I have for you. There's just incredible satisfaction in that.
When I left Alan's house that day, I realized there's a lot more than meets the eye in the city of Placentia. You just never know about the people and the neighborhoods who live in a city that you pass through every day. I felt a rededication and renewal to my call to make disciples with faith, hope, and love. And I'm grateful for leaders like Alan who give their time to reach places where the gospel hasn't yet fully bloomed.